Good evening. You're watching Left, Right and Centre. I'm Nidhi Razdan. We are just one day away from the 50-day deadline on the note ban that was announced by the Prime Minister on the 8th of November in his address. The Prime Minister is now going to address the nation again, this time on New Year's Eve. That's this Saturday, where many hope that some relief is announced by him to ease the pain that came with the cash crunch. Today, the BJP fielded its top ministers, 4 of them in fact, to attack the opposition Congress, even threatening legal action, while the Congress has drawn up an extensive protest plan of its own.
Remonetization.
The BJP's big bang defense of the note ban, taking the lead Finance Minister Arun Jaitley with his report about revenues after the note ban.
Assessments can be unreal, but revenue is real. The direct tax figures of income tax, which are now available, the net increase is still 13.6% till 19th of December. There is a very significant increase in indirect taxation. Now, the Rabi crop sowing being higher, life insurance businesses have increased, international tourism has increased, air passenger traffic has increased, petroleum consumption has increased, the flow into the mutual funds has increased by 11%.
As senior ministers take this message across the country, the BJP also tried to shield the Prime Minister and the BJP chief from Congress's constant attack.
भाजपा के अध्यक्ष अमित शाह वहीं से शुरू करते हैं। वो अहमदाबाद कोऑपरेटिव बैंक में डायरेक्टर हैं। उस कोऑपरेटिव बैंक में जिसके वो डायरेक्टर हैं, संचालक हैं, नोटबंदी 8 नवंबर को होती है, 3 दिन में 500 करोड़ रुपया जमा हो जाता है।
कांग्रेस पार्टी के पास कोई प्रूफ है तो तरीके से बात करे, वरना बेबुनियाद आरोप लगाने पर जो कानून के अंतर्गत कार्रवाई होती है उसका भी विचार हम करेंगे।
In New Delhi, Sandeep Phukan, NDTV.
Joining us on the program tonight, Mr. GVL Rao, national spokesperson of the BJP, Pawan Khera, member of the Congress party, and senior editor Aarti Jairath here in the studio with us. Mr. Rao, of course, none of us can sit here and speculate on what the Prime Minister may say in his address on Saturday, but I'm sure you have some hint at least about whether it would be in the general direction of offering some relief or some tax breaks or making some announcement in some way to please people after the pain of the last 50 days, or whether there would be some more tough measures announced. Would you give us a general sense at least?
No, Nidhi, I don't think I am privy to any such details, nor would anybody be in possession of such information. That's something we will come to know only when the Honorable Prime Minister speaks or addresses the nation. But certainly he would thank people of the country for having supported this measure, for having also faced certain difficulties, but yet staying the course and supporting the government's move without creating any kind of unrest anywhere in any part of the country. Certainly he would be thanking the people. He would certainly be, he has already been talking about the kind of campaign against corruption, the war against corruption that will continue. He has given indications of that Benami, how this action against Benami properties will certainly be taken up in a big way. So this is not a one-off measure. He would certainly kind of dedicate himself. He would show that commitment and urge people to support him in future, the manner in which they have done in the past.
Sure, and I think it would be fair to say that probably the speech would be, perhaps, Pawan Khera, a mix of taking stock of the way the last 50 days have gone, perhaps announcing new measures, and at the same time maybe offering relief to people as well. What's your expectation?
What do you think? I don't expect much from this Prime Minister after what he did on the 8th of November. But I hope these people in the government have their finger on the pulse of this country, and they can sense the rising temper, and they will be forced to offer some sops and try and salvage whatever little they can salvage. Not that they can salvage much, believe me, the tempers are really, really rising very high, and I would be surprised if they are not aware of what the situation is in this country.
But today Arun Jaitley listed out what he said were a number of achievements over the last several weeks. He's talked about the Rabi crop sowing being 6% higher as compared to last year. He said tourism has gone up, more people are buying, traveling by air. He said the critical part of the note ban is over and things are just going to get much better going forward.
Listen, we've asked some questions. Rahul Gandhi asked some questions. We want answers to those questions. What happened during Rabi crop? Rabi crop has nothing to do with what happened in the last 40-45 days. You go and ask the farmers the kind of difficulties they've got buying seeds and getting loans or getting their own cash outside. It was very, very difficult. So let them tell us how much black money they've got now in the banks, how much money has come in the banks. What are the parameters that they had? Let them measure the results with the parameters and let the people of India know what has been achieved in the last 50 days.
One important point you raised, Mr. Rao, and I must ask this, is that why have we stopped getting figures from the RBI about just how much money has come back into the system? I think the last time we got a figure was around the 12th of December at 12.44 lakh crores. And after that, we didn't get any figure. Why is that?
No, I would certainly not know the real reasons. I think last we heard, I think some 13 or 14 lakh crores had come back to the system. So these are matters, I think certainly on when the deadline December 30 ends, I'm sure RBI would certainly come up with those numbers, but this is not something that needs to be announced on a daily basis. I don't think there is a need for it.
So as far as why? Then really we should know. We are entitled to answers. Why has the RBI suddenly stopped releasing figures?
Can I?
Yeah, please, but
as
please
far
answer.
as the Congress party
please try
is
and give
concerned,
a reply to this.
And they are. No, we are not going to give any answers to the
Why?
Congress
You don't
party.
owe it to the country?
I think we are not answerable
you don't owe
to
any
the Congress
answers to the
party.
country? Why is this government Nidhi getting so arrogant?
Can you keep quiet?
My problem is with
Can
the
you
arrogance.
just keep quiet when I speak?
Why is
Nidhi,
no,
ask him
please,
to
you
keep
keep
quiet.
quiet me.
Pawan,
You can't silence people.
Mr. Rao, I'm asking you, why did the RBI stop releasing these figures? It is an important question because we were getting weekly updates from them on how much money was coming back into the system, and suddenly that stopped. Why did that stop?
No, I don't want to guess what are the reasons why RBI doesn't want to give. Possibly when the deadline is approaching, they said they wanted to. This is what I heard in the middle of December or a little before that they wanted a final reconciliation of all the numbers. So obviously they cannot be declaring numbers and then going back and checking them. So as the deadline is ending, possibly they want to really reconcile all the numbers and come up with the final numbers. I don't think there should be any curiosity as to on a daily basis how much is coming in, but certainly as a regulator, banking regulator, I think RBI would do its job and would let the people of country know how much money has come back into the system.
If not daily, we were getting to know it pretty much every week. Should we still have gotten to know, or is the RBI trying to avoid telling us because much more money has come back into the system than was expected?
Well, I mean, I think certainly the finance minister could have given some indication today. He held a press conference and he reeled out all these very rosy statistics of how great it's been over the last 50 days. And, I mean, despite the heartrending stories that have been coming out on a daily basis of the kind of human distress that people have gone through because of demonetization. So, I mean, the finance minister could have clarified this, and I think this is an important question. We need to know exactly how much money has come into the system. And is it more than the government expected, which means that actually there was very little black money around.
So what is your expectation from the PM's address if you had to stick your neck out?
Well, it's interesting, Nidhi, that they have not yet announced poll dates for these 5 elections that are due in February and March. By now, the poll dates should have been announced. And my suspicion is that they're holding back on announcing the poll dates because the PM wants to make some big announcement tomorrow. I mean, I don't want to anticipate what Modi says because Modi sprung so many surprises that I don't think any of us really are in a position to, guess what he's going to say. But just the fact that they held back on the poll dates makes me feel that he is going to announce some concessions, some SOPs, perhaps really to ease the distress that people have been going through.